This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So yes, coming back. So what I was saying was this will automatically appear up in VSC, which shows you that it's a Python program. If you just say like a text file, it won't show you that. You see, it's showing a different format. So that way, it's help you. So print. This is my first class or whatever you want to say, and that's it. This is just to tell you how VS Code works. And like I was saying initially, right, why VS Code is helpful. See, if you just did print, you see that arrow yellow thing here, and even here it shows yellow. That means it's giving you an idea that something is wrong, and then you just do this and you're done. Also, when we go forward and we'll use some inbuilt functions or anything, like you see this drop down menu, you can actually see everything about it if you click on it. This is all by Visual Studio Code. So it's very, very helpful. Now print, that's why you don't need this help, but there are more commands going forward that you would find that this is very helpful, that you get the way how you won't understand what this is right now, but I'm just saying this is a help menu that you automatically get. And what you can do is for bigger commands, you can actually do when you start typing, see, it'll show you, just press tab and it'll automatically complete it also for you. So this is the beauty of Visual Studio Code, which is what I like. And now if you wanted to run it, you see this green bar on your right. It says run Python file in terminal. Just click on it and boom, there you go. This is my first class. So even in this window, this comes using this one, the terminal, and you can also do pip install the commands that I was showing you earlier. So for example, if there's any DevOps guy, there's pip install Ansible. Ansible is a very known tool for DevOps, and that is also written in Python, by the way. You see, this is how it will show you, collecting, downloading, and that will finish soon. So this is how we do it. Just one more to tell you, this is the difference between idle and this, and that's why you need this and not just idle, the one that comes automatically, because there's no way for you to save the file and run it later. But let's say you wanted to run this file later. So uh, what is if what is the path for a 3 users Python first program? Okay, so what I can do is I can just go to that location from my command prompt. 1 second. And what was that location? 3 users Python first program. If you've saved it, all you have to do is first program.py and see, that's it. The output directly comes here. You cannot do this with idle. So today you may think it's just one line, why is Ankit showing all this? But when you have 10 or 20 or 100 lines or even 1,000 lines of code in this file, then it's much easier to run it this way. And you can also give it to somebody else and they can also run it. So that in a nutshell is all about VSC and how we're going to go for it. So coming back to the topics for today, I want to talk a bit about um, what are variables and what are the stuffs or basics of Python basically. Before I start, does anybody has any question? Okay, I take it as a no. So when you talk about variables, when you talk about any programming language for that matter, you should know
Some
that we
question.
need. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I messaged a question in the chat.
That's Suri. Okay. How good is Python for web app development compared to Java? Everyone picks Java for web development. Not true, Suri. Java used to be the go-to language for web development, but just do a Google. Right now, Python has replaced Java almost more than 40 to 50% of places, and Python is excellent for web application. And remember, I was showing the package Django. It starts with D, but D is silent, so it's called Django, not Django. So Django is the package from Python which can do everything. And believe me, if you go through Django, you'll see how easy it is, because what Django does is the package itself, it gives you everything predefined, pre-cut, pre-made. All you have to do is just give your database and all those IPs and stuff, and within like 10 or 20 commands, you will have a full basic version of your website up and running. So definitely it is used more
Uh,
nowadays
yeah, I have
compared to
one.
Java. Yes, Ravi, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, coming to this Python, right? Actually, when we can connect to a database and we can connect, it's a easy to way connecting the database Python.
You're asking, is it a way to connect to database?
No, no,
Is that a
actually, is
question?
it a right means like instead of connecting, instead of connecting another language, so you can connect through Python, it will be good way. I'm asking because
Absolutely.
when I'm trying to do the same thing, like some of the clients, right?
Mhm.
I think we don't have any Python community. It's a community-driven language. Okay, it's not any product or someone is taking the ownership that if this fails, we can give some solution. So some of the clients will prefer this creating because Python is a community-driven. So we cannot if something fails, we don't have any solution or something kind of things. I mean, owner of the Python, someone is not there. So we can suggest the clients uh, to like we can suggest the client this solution like we can connect the database through database and process the files and load in the database. We can do that one.
Um, I I'm not sure about that, Ravi, but if you ask my personal opinion and whatever I know, I don't
Okay.
see Java being used anywhere in data science projects now. The only reason is JDBC and all is an overhead, and people have to do a
Oh,
lot more stuff for connecting to database. And believe
yes,
me,
yes,
data science is all about database, right? Because you are analyzing tons of data, petabytes of data. So you need some
yes,
database or somewhere to store it. And Python and R and Scala are so powerful and so fast that Java can't even compare with it. So, and I don't know, when you say that it is a community, it is correct, but it is so much of documentation and help available. If you look Django, if and forget about Django, if you look at MongoDB, for example, that's one of the latest databases that everybody wants to or prefers to use in data science world because it's non-relational database. That is the best part about it. And only language that works with
yes.
that is Python. Python has an inbuilt connector for it. Like if you had to, I haven't done it in Java, but my guess is if you had to do it in Java, you need at least 100 lines of code. With Python,
Okay.
three things: install Python,
Yes, yes.
install the package for MongoDB, and there's one line in Python in your python.py file, open connector. That's it, and you have to give the connector IP and stuff. And your connection between Python and MongoDB is already there. Now do whatever you want to do. That is the beauty of Python. So I think that Java is slowly getting out, and Python is being used heavily in web development. But of course, you're right. There are client requirements and whatnot, and people still have their own preferences. So that is a very problem specific driven, right? Whatever your client wants, whatever your company wants, maybe they don't want to use Python. So that is a very specific thing. But we are talking in general. But that's a good point.
Okay, okay.
Hello.
Okay, and one more question actually. I'm writing
Yeah.
currently working on cloud. Okay, so
Okay.
I think cloud means like when I'm trying to code. Okay, when I do process the data in one of the component in cloud. Okay,
Hmm.
so they are asking PySpark. Okay, so Spark plus Python is only they are suggesting like because entirely scripting part they are using Python only for any
Right.
CI/CD activities kind of a thing in
Hmm.
cloud actually AWS especially.
Right.
Because in Azure, I don't know, but in AWS, mostly all the CI/CD activities they are using Python itself.
Correct.
So, but in few coding, they are expecting we don't do it with Python only. We need Spark plus Python for streaming
Right.
data. So, for
Right.
streaming data, we cannot use Python itself instead of using Spark. That's
Yeah, but that also you're using as a package only on Python, right? So that is the thing, right? With Python, you have so many packages that
okay. Okay.
practically you would not run out of options using Python. Even to do the same thing, there are multiple packages with advanced and stuff. So there's you. So I'm not very familiar with Spark, so but I'll give you the answer to a question in a different way. So you guys would have heard NumPy, SciPy a lot, right? This is like everybody's asking for it, and it's so much in
Yes.
demand. So you would ask, Ankit, why do we need SciPy when we already had
Yes.
NumPy? NumPy was earlier and SciPy came later. So that is the thing. NumPy and SciPy almost do the same things, but the difference comes with what your data is, what your requirement is. If you had to find something in, let's say, 5 petabytes of data, SciPy would be much faster than compared to NumPy. That is the difference. So when you talk about data science, you are only talking about tons and tons and tons of data. So you
Okay.
need faster stuff. So similarly, I'm pretty sure PySpark and whatever you're saying in CI/CD, they would have their own use case. That's why you would want to use it. But again, SciPy, Spark, everybody is built on Python. And you brought an interesting thing. I don't know if you and everybody knows. You say
Okay.
AWS cloud, right? So when you talk about AWS cloud, first thing that comes to your mind is an EC2 instance, correct?
Yes.
That's what you need. Do you know the Amazon Linux that you install
Yes.
on it?
Yes.
It
Yeah.
uses Python in the background. So whatever EC2 instance you create, but in the background, Amazon uses Python to do it.
Uh,
So you don't see it
yeah.
because it's in the background, but everybody is using Python.
Oh. Okay.
You just name it and it will be there. Even though it is a the Linux that you install is a AMI, which is Amazon Machine something, right? Basically Amazon's version of Linux. But the whole creation and
Yeah.
installation of Linux is all automated through Python in the backend. Amazon developers have done it. So everywhere it is Python, just a different flavor
Yeah.
and
Okay.
stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting point.
Yeah. Yeah, very few people know that. And when
I,
I was learning about AWS, even I
Yeah. Yeah.
didn't.
I heard in many of the IoT devices also we are using Python.
Oh, yes. I was telling yesterday, like your Siri, Apple Siri, Google Home, what is the other one? Alexa, they all use TTS, which is text to speech engine based out of Python. There is a module on it which is called TTS. You can explore it. I won't be covering in this session because that is too high level detail. But I have used an application. I mean, I made an application out of it. It's a simple application. It tells me time, what is the current time, or what is the time every hour, and it just speaks out. But you can do all of that. So all of that is in Python, just like a package. You just have to install, like I was showing you, pip install some package and then do some 10, 20 lines of code and done. That is the beauty of Python.
Hi Ankit, I have a
Yeah,
question.
sure, Nagarjuna.
Yeah, in Amazon EC2 instances like Ubuntu or CentOS,
Yeah,
we use apt repository and Ember repository to install packages. Okay,
correct, correct.
if we install using Python, should we
Mhm.
use pip command before the actual command?
So if you have to install any Python package, you definitely need pip command.
Okay.
Otherwise, you cannot. Well, there is a way because Amazon is Amazon, as everybody know, it's really great. So if you are already on your Linux box, you can do it in two ways. You can do. So let me, actually, it's a good question. It's a little bit out of topic. Let me see if my Amazon instance is still up and running. Then I'll show you something. Just bear with me, guys, for a minute. It's a very good question that Nagarjuna asked.
I think it is, you can access it through Amazon CLI.
Yeah,
So
CLI has to be CLI. Yeah.
yeah, it has to be CLI. So you can install that pip module over there and you can execute the commands. You can connect
Yep.
to your
That's what I wanted to show Avinash. Actually, just give me 1 second.
Okay.
I'm seeing if my instance is available. Just bear with me, guys. Yeah, it's just coming up. I just turned it on. 1 second. These are great topics, guys. So don't think that we are wasting time or anything like that. This is really going to help all of you guys. Okay, my instance is booting up. Let it come back and I'll come back on that question, but that's a great question. Let's go ahead with Python.
Ankit?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes,
have
Shyam.
one doubt. Yeah, I
Go
have
ahead.
one doubt. When I'm working in my company,
Mhm.
my team leaders, like they are doing that, they are making collect the database and taking the reports and charts, all those things. Is it we can able to do in Python? Like when we
Absolutely,
are
my
doing,
friend. Absolutely.
okay.
You can do that. It's very easy. And with another package called matplotlib, you can actually draw all these pie charts and everything.
Mhm.
So for everything, Python has a package. That is the best part. And you just have to Google or, I mean, of course, right now we're in this class, you can ask me. And even, I don't know, there are like zillions of packages. Trust me, there are like 15,000 or more than that. Even I don't remember the number. So, oh, for the new people, by the way, you might ask, where are all these packages saved? So they are saved in cloud and they are already maintained by the Python organization. And this is the website, python.py.org, Python package index. If you look at this is where all your packages are installed, packages are saved. And whenever you do pip install, for example, Django, it comes to this website only and pulls the Django package from here. So for example, tomorrow, if you, let's say you didn't know what is the command for Django, just search Django here and it will show you a bunch of results. You can go for this one. That's your latest release. And come on, this is getting slow. Yeah, you see, it tells you right here what is the command. And again, the same thing, you can go through the documentation. They even give you examples how you will create your first Django program, like real examples, not just dummy stuff. So like I said, for Python, the best part is this community itself is so strong. You don't need to buy any books. According to me, I mean, of course, you're free to do that. But I didn't invest anything in any books and I just learned everything from here. The documentation is superb. Just go through the tutorials. They are like really, really nice. And you learn everything from here. So similarly for DevOps guys, Ansible is a very known tool, and Ansible is also built up on Python, by the way. So that's why you see the package here. So go here, and it will tell you everything about Ansible. You can even directly use this to copy this command and go ahead and paste in your command line and install it, and you will get Ansible on your machine. Similarly, NumPy, whatever package you want to see, every package is in this pypy.org. Let me ping this one also. We discussed this yesterday, but there are a few new people, so they should also know this. All right, so that's where the packages are stored. What was the question? I forgot. Did I answer your question, Sriram? Was that Sriram?
Hello? Yeah, Ankit.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So let's go with the basics of Python. I want to just cover a little bit on that. At least we are almost at the hour. So every every programming language needs variables. That is the minimal requirement for any language. If you remember the program that I did here, it's a very small program though. For example, writing of sum of two numbers, we needed at least minimum two variables to save the number, right? A is equal to 5, B is equal to 10. So A and B are nothing but variables for me because I need to store the value of 5 and 10. You can also do this. Nobody's stopping you. Print 5 plus 10. That will give you the same thing, but that will only give you for 5 and 10. What you wanted something like generic where you can change A and B values. So right now A is this. What if I make A 12 now and B 15? Then you can still do A plus B and you'll get the new value. So that's why you need variables in any language. So variable simply defined means is it's a variable, as I say, which can store a value. So value is 12 or 15. It can be anything, right? So a value can be anything. It's up to you what you want to give. but the variable is something that you need so that you can work with it in your program going forward. Now, right now you may think, why is Ankit telling me this? I can just use for 12 plus 15 here. Agreed. But when you talk about big files, you need a lot more variables to work around with them. And we'll see how that goes on. So those are variables. Then there are data types. Okay, data types is a very important thing, and we'll be dealing with these in the coming week. So data types are the building blocks of any programming language. Forget about Python. And specifically in Python, they're very important because you will be using this day in and day out. So there are many types of data types. We'll talk about those one by one. And all the data types are needed. It's not like you would need only one and not two. And I'll come back in a minute what they are and what they do and how are they are. The other thing is that you need for Python or any programming language to work in basics is operators. So by operators, we mean like this is an operator right now, plus sign. That is the arithmetic operator. So we are telling that on A and B do this operation of sum. So that's why they're called operators. Similarly, you can do print A into B or multiplication. It will, sorry, print A into B. It will give you the result. So here, the star is the operator. It's the multiplication operator. Then there are relationship operators as well. We'll talk about those. Then the most important important piece is control structures. This is where our most of the time would go. So control structures mean when you write a program, let's say 10 lines, there will be times when you'll have to decide that, okay, my line number 5 should only execute if or for my line number 3 is valid or not. So things like that. So they are like conditional stuff. You have to control how your flow of your program is going to happen. So for example, if you had, I'm taking a hypothetical example. If you had 10 numbers and you wanted to do a sum of it, you can use, let's say, a particular function for it or a command for it. But if you wanted to first check whether the 10 numbers are even or odd, or are they positive or negative, then you need some sort of a control structure. Very, 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 very important stuff. And this we are going to spend the most of the time. If you understand control structures, half of your programming is good, because believe it or not, all the advanced concepts and everything, if you understand control structures and data types, all that I'm writing right now, you are done with 80% of it. The rest is very easy to understand. Then another very important topic is functions. So functions are the building blocks of any programming language. So you can do so much only with these things, but you cannot do a lot unless you have functions. And simply put, a function is nothing but a piece of code, let's say 5 lines or 6 lines, that you think would be repeated 10 times in your project or in your file. So simple example, addition of two numbers, right? A plus B. If you see, in this example only, if I wanted first the sum of 5 and 10, I gave this line. Then in case if I wanted a sum of 12 and 15, I gave this line. So, but essentially I'm doing the same thing, right? I'm only adding A and B, but you see, I had to give it 2 times. Now, just imagine if there were 10 more such combinations where I wanted to see the sum. So I will be giving this line 10 more times. So I'm doing the same line, exact same line 12 to 15 times to get the output. What if I had just one line or one function to call it every time I needed a excuse me, some output? That makes your life a lot easier, and it is a lot easy way to code. So that's what functions do. So you just write this line in a piece of function, and every time you need so every time your value of A and B change and you want some addition of them, just call that function. That's it. It makes it so easy. So functions are, like I said, also a very important piece, and they are the building blocks of any language. Then there's something very interesting in Python, which is called file handling or files. So with files, and again, this is very introductory right now, we'll go more in detail when we see, but specifically for people who would like to do some automation or scripting and stuff like that, you deal a lot with files. So let's say I take an example. So let's say there was a issue that was found, and the issue is that, hey, this particular person called at this time and it failed. Can you see what was the reason? So I'm taking a telecom example because I'm from telecom background, but you can apply it to anywhere. So now I will have to go through a zillion files, log files, which we call, and then only I can figure out, because there's so many people who are making calls at the same time. So I'll have to find that particular number, that particular time, what was the when was the call done, and a particular log file which will tell me, hey, what was the problem. So just imagine there are zillions of files and you cannot just go through every file one by one. So file handling is very important in Python. And in real time, I just sort of gave you another example, but in real time, we mostly work with databases. So, but the database handling is another concept which is in advanced Python. But with files, we can see some sort of a similar stuff in a basic manner. And then ultimately it's modules, or basically modules is nothing but friends, sorry, what am I saying, friends, functions in classes. So they're still the functions only, so but they're called modules when they're defined in the classes. Now what is classes? So that brings me to the next topic, which is OOPS, or object-oriented programming concept. So OOP concepts are, they come in mid to advanced level. And when you go to interviews and stuff, most of the interviews are around here. But like I was saying earlier, right? Just see simple example, modules and class is a part of OOPS concept. So you see modules is nothing but functions in classes. So you need to know functions to get to this part. So everything that I write here is in descending order, ascending order. So you need one to go to the other. So we'll be talking a lot about these. We'll be spending a lot more time on these because your basics are strong, then this will be a breeze. And believe me, a lot of people are scared with OOPS, a lot of them. I was myself when I was doing in C++. And when I did it in Python, it is so easy compared to C++ or any other language. So I know we are over the time, but let's go ahead a bit more. So so variables, as we just discussed, are names to store values, right? As I just showed you, a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 10. So a is a variable here. Then data types. What are the data types? Does anybody know here any data types? Guys, you can interact if you know anything. Even if it's wrong, it doesn't matter. Okay, so data types is, there are multiple data types in Python. One is called numbers. Okay, and then there's one called sequence. And then there's one more called map, which is pretty new to Python, or only to Python, basically, you can say. And I think there's in Java as well, but not in C, C++. And then there's Boolean, and then there is none. So these are the data types categories. Now we'll go one by one in each of them. So what is numbers? This I'm sure everybody knows, right? 0, 1, 2, 3 are all numbers. But what about how do you tell? Sorry, what happened?
Ankit,
Yes, go ahead.
yeah, as of I know anything in C language, we call it as int, float, char.
Correct. I was just going to that only. So good that you know that. And I think Mahesh also pinged the same thing. So basically, this is numbers, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. But what about 0.5,
Float.
0.879 or whatever? Exactly. So what we do is, these are all numbers yet. Now, if you had to give this to X or A, how will Python know that this is different and this is different? So that's why we have different types of numbers. So these are categorized as integers, which means any number which is not a decimal value or non-decimal. And these are categorized as float. So we'll talk more when we see how they are defined, but this is just in a basic manner. Do you know there's one type of data type in numbers in Python? Does anybody know that?
Complex?
Okay. Yes. Who was that? Sorry, Vijay. Good job. So if you remember your basic maths in 10th and 11th, there used to be complex numbers as well, something like this, 4 plus 5j. So j was your imaginary part and 4 was your whole part. So Python lets you define complex numbers as well. And these are very much needed in data science. I keep saying data science because everybody wants to go there, right? Or somewhere or the other. So these are the typical type of number data types in Python. Let's talk about sequence. If you guys have any questions, just stop me there, okay? So what is a sequence in general English terms? So sequence means something which is written in a sequence like this, right? Is one a sequence? No, because it's just one single digit. Is 1 2 a sequence? Probably, because it's going towards somewhere. So the best example to explain sequence is nothing but a string, because what is a string? So if I write Ankit, that is a string. So what do you see? ANKIT. These are all individual characters. A is a character, N is a character, K is a character, I is a character, and T is a character. So you see a string is a sequence of characters when they are put together. So that is what you mean by sequence sort of data types. The most important thing here is it holds only one value, even though it's a sequence, but it is only one value. So string 1 equal to Ankit. Why I say one value? Because Ankit is just one word. It's one value, right? So that's what it means by a sequence or a string. Similarly, there are more type of sequence elements in Python. It's called list, tuples, set, frozen set, and is there any one that I'm missing? Anybody remember anything beyond this? Okay, so frozen set is basically nothing but a subset of set. And what is list? So list is a combination of numbers or strings or anything which can repeat. So for example, we'll talk about every one of them in detail, but I'm just giving you ideas here or examples here. So this is how you write a list. Like something like this. It can go to anything. But you see the difference? This 1 is getting repeated again here. This 2 is getting repeated again here. It can again repeat. 1, 2, random, something. So list is basically a sequence of elements. This is a sequence of elements, right? Separated by comma, which can repeat by themselves. Tuples is, anybody know what a tuple is? They are also a list of elements, but they are defined by this curly brackets, and there cannot be any changes made to this tuple. So what I mean to say by that is once this is defined, we can still go ahead and make a change. So let's say by change, I mean I can reverse this. I can change 45 to 54, but the rest of the list remains same. Or I can even delete it. I can just put it like, just shorten my list to this. For tuples, you cannot do that. You cannot change the elements of a tuple. That is the most important difference between list and tuple. And this is just a syntax piece that list is defined using this and tuples is defined using this bracket. Set is basically similar to list, but no duplicates. Yeah, Ravi, you had a question? Okay. So there can't be any duplicates. Remember I was showing duplicates here like this. So 1 is a duplicate. It also is on this position. It's also on this position. Same as 2 and 3. But set cannot have duplicates, but the rest it's all the same. And frozen set is, but you can change values in set. Frozen set is just a set where you cannot change value, just like tuple. You cannot change the value. These are very basic that I'm telling you right now. We'll go in one by one in all of this. There will be a session only for lists. There will be a session only for tuples. So this is just basic understanding of what data types are. So there are so many data types. So one is numbers, one is sequence. Then comes the any questions on this one before I go forward? Okay. Next on my list is map. Anybody knows what a map is? Any general idea? It is also in, I think, Java, also not in C++.
So actually, Ankit, we have any?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So we have any order here actually? We
This
have
is
any
order.
order in certain list,
Yeah.
like
The-
difference? Means in list we have it is similar. Okay, okay. List is order.
Yeah.
So set
No,
is
this
order,
is not
right?
set is ordered set of elements. Exactly. Like it'll all go as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and stuff. But not list. List can be anything. It can start with 100 also or anything.
Okay,
It doesn't matter.
okay.
That's a good question. Yeah. Okay. Anybody has any idea what a map is in Python? Okay. So pay close attention to map because map is one of the few things that are relevant to Python only. I think it is there in Java or JavaScript. I'm not sure though, but not in C, C++. And this can do wonders when it comes to data science. Okay, somebody's pinging again. Yes, Mahesh, you're right. Key value pair. But I'll prefer if you unmute yourself and talk in the meeting rather than chatting. I mean, because I'm not very looking at that all the time. But that is the right answer. So Mahesh said it is basically key value pair. What do we mean by this? Or in other words, this is called as dictionary and most commonly known as dict. Dict is the way we define in Python. This is very important, guys. Dictionary, again, we'll do one full day because it's a very important concept in data science. But just to give you guys a brief idea, yes, Avinash, you're right, dictionary. Even if you look at a real dictionary, right, in the sense an English dictionary, so what does it have? It basically has you look up in a dictionary for what? You look for a name, right, and you want to know the meaning of it, right? That's what you look up in dictionary. It's the same thing. So name key value pair means nothing but your English dictionary name and its value. So basically, if you're looking for example, astound is the word that you're looking for the meaning, and then there will be a meaning in dictionary. So it is the exact same concept, but a little advanced here. So that's why they call it as name or value or key or value pair. So if you look, why do they call it as key? That is the important thing. Unless you know the word that you're looking the meaning for, you cannot find the meaning, right? Your meaning is dependent on the word that you want to look for. Otherwise, there's no point. You can keep changing the pages of dictionary and you won't get anything. So you need to know the word that you're looking the meaning for. Same thing in Python, you need to know the key and that will have a value. So now I'm giving you an example in dictionary. Yeah, sorry, in Python terms. Sorry. So this is again a bit of a syntax here that dictionaries are always defined with key, and keys are always strings like this, and they also have to have a value. So the name has a value of Ankit. That is the point. Now you can say that you can also define it as a variable. That's fine. But what as a string? But what if I wanted to have this in one particular data object? So name and let's say my ID. That could be my office ID, which is 45200. It's a number. Okay. And then I could say my address or my state where I live in. I live in New Hampshire in US. So I'll just give NH, or let me give an India example, UP. I'm from UP, guys, by the way. So now if you see string, like I said, only holds one value, only as Ankit. But here you see three different strings. One is name, one is ID, one is state. They can still be defined as three separate strings. But what if I wanted all of them to be combined under one? That's when you use a map or a key value pair or a dictionary or a dict, right? So now my dictionary element would have all these three. Now think of this is needed when you are storing data for employees, for example, or forget employees. Let's say there's a class and you want to take an attendance for them. So like basics are school time. So what do you need? You need at least the name, and then you need a roll number, and then maybe something else. So, but the name and the roll number belongs to the same person, right? So we have to have one common data type to store all the relevant information of that particular person. So similarly, this will be only one data type for Ankit. There could be the same thing for Just give me a name, guys. Was it Sriram? Because Sriram also would have all that data, right? Let's say he's working in some company. So he will have his own employee ID. What's wrong with my word? Let's say 14589. And he is, let's say, where are you from, Sriram? Andhra, you said, right? Andhra
No,
Pradesh.
Telangana. Telangana.
Sorry. Ian, right? No, what is the
Yeah.
Telangana short?
TG.
TG, sorry.
Hmm.
Yeah. So now see, one element has my information, the other data type has his information. Similarly, we can do it for the whole class. But if we were to do it with just strings, there will be so many strings, and then how will you know this string belongs to Ankit and this one belongs to Sriram? So that is the beauty of dictionary. So by just one element, we can have all this information for Ankit. By another element, we can have all this information from Sriram. By another third element, we can have all this information from Mahesh, and so on and so forth for everybody. So that is the meaning of map. Basically nothing but like somebody said, I think Mahesh said, key value pair. So what is the key here? Name is the key. What is the value? Sriram. What is the key here? ID. What is the value here? 1490. What is the key here? State. The value is UP. The reason I want to spend a lot more time on this is because this is a very important concept when it comes to databases and when it comes to data science. So you have to understand this very, very well. And this is something new to Python. This was not in C, C++. At least I don't remember reading it in my days. Okay. Any question on dictionary before I move to the next two? Or was it clear? Okay, you guys are either very polite and by not asking questions, or I don't know. Maybe it was clear because I had a lot of questions when I first read about dictionary. So next data type is Boolean. It's very easy. It's either true or false, just like we have in real life also, right? Whether you like Python, true or false, simple. Also internally, it means 1 or 0. The only important piece to remember is that true T and false F is always capital. Otherwise, it will error out. So now there's one more data type in Python, which, and this is again only in Python. I think it's there in Java, but it's not there in C, C++. And none means basically 0 or null data type. So we'll see what are the uses of these. These are used in checking conditions and all, like if this is true, if this is false, then you do this and stuff like that. Again, like I said, everything is going in order. So if you don't understand this, you cannot understand control structures, because control structure is all about if, else, while, for, and stuff. So we have to go in this order, and that is very important. The more you understand these basics, the more you understand these concepts. And your interviews are always around here and here and here. These three places are the most important if you were going to give an interview for Python developer. So please understand all these basics very clearly. Go through this, ask me questions if you have. Even next day is fine, even on WhatsApp is fine. And of course, for the new people, don't ping me with your questions. I want everybody to hear your questions. So ping on WhatsApp if you're going through this video later or something and you have another question after the class, then ping it on the WhatsApp group. Maybe somebody else can help you. I'm in a different time zone. Some of you are in US time zone, some of you are in India time zone. So somebody else can also help you. And that's how we grow as a community. All right. So I'm going to stop here for today because I think it's 22 minutes over. We'll talk about more data structures and more of these in detail on Monday. Is everybody okay for Monday? Or I know it's Diwali, so do you guys want another break, or I don't know how you want to do it? Okay, again, I'll leave it to Sriram. Sriram, can you check with people if we will have a class on Monday, just in case if you guys don't want it, then let Sriram or you can just type it in the WhatsApp group and let us know if you don't want it. All right, so I'm just going to give you 2 more minutes if you guys have any question. Yeah, go ahead.
I check with all of those if any because anyway tomorrow is a festival in India. I mean
Right.
most of the people are celebrating. Okay, if any possibilities are there, if we coming on Sunday, I mean that day after tomorrow, I will check the entire team.
Sunday would be a little difficult for me because I have my own classes also. But if you
Okay.
have 10 people, I can give you maybe another time, not the same time, maybe a little
Okay.
early than 10:30.
Okay. I check with both of them because I have to check with all of the those who are in
Yeah,
our group as well as
yeah,
you only. So if any all things are concerned, then let me see.
sure. Yeah, I think because the festival also, right? So let's do it on Monday. Monday is
Yeah.
better. Let's go back to
Yeah.
Monday. And
Yeah.
then
Fine.
once people understand a little more, then we'll take up classes on weekends also. So weekends would be more like problem solving and trying to understand your doubts and stuff like that. So right now we've just started with basics, right? People might not have a lot of questions. All right. Any question from you guys from today's topic?
Okay. I want to share one thing is that
Yeah, sure.
yeah. Sorry to late for this. Huh? I downloaded that Visual Studio.
Yes, you said you had a problem or something, right?
Yeah. 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 In that when I typing that like giving that saved Python first dot py.
Yeah.
We are getting as the same normally like which we are using like ideally or else something command prompt. There is no color change in that.
Um, there's no color change. You mean like this? This is yellow and stuff?
Yeah, there is no only white color is getting.
Remember making that change, this automatically comes up. Did you save your file as, okay, so maybe you didn't save it as py. So if you type here, I don't think so. Yeah, see, in text file, it doesn't show. You have to save it as .py. Did you save it as py?
Yes, yes. If you don't mind, can come from.
Yeah, can you share your screen? I'll make you the presenter. Yeah,
Yeah,
before we go there, does anybody have any question on the class today? Because I don't want everybody to waste their time. I mean, you can feel free to hang around, but does anybody have any
I have
question?
one question.
Yeah, go ahead. I got something.
AWS EC2 instances, if we install any packages from Python using Python,
Yep. Yep.
so do we use pip in the beginning of the command?
It depends. If you can even use yum for all that, but internally it will do it. That's what I wanted to show, but somehow I don't know what happened. You see,
For
this is an easy
suppose
instance. It's saying run sudo. This is some extra stuff that I have to do. So it
okay, for
depends.
suppose I'm installing Ansible using Python.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if I download it from any website,
Yeah.
Ansible or else any IPT repository, so to run any Ansible command, I use Ansible, then the command.
Correct. Ansible
If I
minus m and stuff like that. Yeah.
yes, if I download through Python and install through Python, then should I use pip Ansible then command
No, no,
or
no,
else
no,
direct?
no. Yeah. So that's a good question too. But once your package is installed, you don't need pip. Pip is only to install. That's it. Then it's your
Okay.
application. So let's say you're taking a sample of Ansible, right? So Ansible command starts like Ansible
Yeah.
minus m and whatnot. So then you can just start
Yes.
using directly on the command line once you have Ansible installed.
Okay.
Simple.
That's
Yeah.
one more question.
Yeah. Pip is just for installation. Just like, do you remember any Ansible command? I think I have Ansible installed here.
Yes, I
Then
remember.
I'll show you. Yeah, tell
Ansible
me.
shell.
That's it. Sorry, there's a lot of noise. Yeah. Sorry, what is it?
Ansible hyphen Ansible all
Ansible all. That's it.
hyphen m.
Okay.
No. I am pinging the command. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Ping it. Yeah, I'm still learning Ansible actually. It just started, in fact. So guys, things like this, if you start sharing with the community, right, this helps everybody. It says it doesn't understand. Oh, there's a typo.
Shell spelling is wrong. SHELL.
Oh, it's shell.
Sorry,
Okay, I just copied yours. Hold on. I didn't know it's shell. Yeah, see, so it's working, right? Without any
Yes.
pip here. So pip is only
Yes.
used for installing. So you can use it pip, or because AWS, you're already installed AMI, right? This is an AMI image. So you already have
Yes.
Linux. So then you can use yum also. So yum install Ansible. Well, this will say that it already has. You already have it, but that's the whole point. But Ansible internally uses, see, it says package. It basically uses, it is built on Python only, Ansible, the whole Ansible package. And even the Amazon, like whatever CLI you see here, right? Whatever commands we are giving, this is all built over Python too. Amazon uses Python a lot.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else has any other question before I go to solve VS Code
One more
problem?
question I have.
Mm-hmm.
If we create
Sure.
any Ansible playbook, can we create through Python PY file and run it?
So I haven't worked on Ansible, but I'm guessing why not. So this is your so if you're using Python, so if you're using it on AWS instance, right? Then you're not really using Python. Then you're using Linux to run all these commands. So if Ansible would give you a command, then you just use the command directly. But if you were doing something like here, like this doesn't have, I don't know why it didn't install. What happened? But could be there's some more dependencies and stuff. But if you're using something here, then you can use Python with Ansible to do it. So there was some problem installing something. Anyways, we can take that separately. So again, it depends on the platform that you're using.
Yeah, I think Ankit does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Ankit, I think CLI comments are like more Linux, like it's written in Linux, AWS CLI. When we write,
Yeah,
right? When you do all this stuff, okay. So we
right.
can use Linux comments also,
Of
or only
course.
Python. Both you can use.
No. Of course, yeah. See, this is a Linux command. ls-lrt, cat,
Okay.
etc. These are all Linux commands. So essentially, like I said, right? So you guys have to understand
Okay.
this
So
thing
CLI.
that I'm
So
showing. This is AWS instance, which I created using Amazon Linux. So I'm already telling the instance that, hey boss, use Linux. Now that is a different
okay.
thing. This is a different thing. This is a tool, or this is what I'm showing using Python itself. So here the platform is direct Python, but here the platform, sorry, where did it go? But here, come on, here I'm using an already pre-existing instance which has Amazon Linux. So there's a lot of difference. Python can run on Linux also, by the way. It's not like it can only run on Windows. So here is my instance. Let me show you. So these instances are all running Amazon. What happened? Yeah. See, the platform here is Amazon Linux. It's not Python, but you can install Python on it and then you can start using it. I think so. It should allow. Why not? See it. Yeah. See, this is what I was trying. That's a good thing now. I was trying to show. So you see this Python package already installed. That is what I was telling you, that Amazon EC2 instance already uses Python. So I didn't even have to install Python here. So basically you can write a Python file here, vi hello.py, and then just say print. It should, I mean, I'm doing this the first time with you guys, so I'm assuming this should work. Why would it not work?
It will work.
Yeah, technically. Let's see. Error.py. And now I'm giving error.py. Syntax near and oh, did I give something wrong? Space. Oh, I know why. We are not in Python shell. So this will work if we were in Python shell, but we are in
So you can
Amazon shell. See, this is how it
do
will
that in
work.
Python 3. Yeah. Python 3 allow py.
Yeah.
File name.
I'm not giving 3 because they have only 2.7. I don't know, weird reason. Amazon may be using 2.7. But you're right. Otherwise, I would have given Python 3. So see, I just did it in front of you guys. If it was not installed, then it would have first installed it, and then you just write a program, and then the reason this was not working was this is how actually we run a shell script in Linux space. But you have to tell Amazon, this is Amazon Box, right? That you are trying to run this. What application should I use? It's just like when we open in Windows a video file, right? Sometimes it asks what extension do you want to use with, whether you want to use it with VLC player or you want to use it with media player. So that's how we do in Linux. We are just telling that, hey, this is a Python utility. Please use Python to run it. And there you go. So
And
the
one
answer
more
is yes.
question.
Yep. Yeah, go ahead.
If we're learning Python, can we skip this shell scripting? Does Python cover most of the functionalities of shell
So shell
in
scripting in
Linux?
Python is
Linux.
totally different, Nagarjuna. They're two different, just like Java and Python. So you can directly learn Python for scripting. That is very much possible. And you can do shell scripting and Python separately also. So
Okay,
for
can we?
example, now let me show you. Although these questions are out of this discussion, but I like these questions. So this is like I showed you, right? This is a Python way of doing it. If you wanted to do
Yes.
the same way using shell script, what you do is, what was it? Hello, right? Let me do hello underscore sh.sh shell.sh. So then you just do like this, bin bash. I hope it works. What is the print command in shell scripting? Echo, right? chmod plus x shell.sh. Oh, it's not shell, it's hello dot. I did it the wrong way. This is inside. Why didn't echo work? Echo. Oh, sorry. Dollar is for a variable. There you go. So same thing in shell script. Now you're using on Linux. So like I said, both are different. This is a .sh file, that is a .py file, but they can do both the same. Both of them can do the same thing. It depends what you want to do. Like this is a very simple example, right? Of course, when you have to write big files, then Python is much better, I think, personally. But to be honest with you, you can do everything with shell script, just like you can do it in Python. All right, any more questions? I think we have way past.
Python is good.
Sorry, Nagarjuna, what was that?
Compared to shell, I feel Python is good actually.
Any day, it's much easy. You saw, right, how easy was it for me to write the Python program, and I
Yes.
changed so many times in this, even just to print hello. And not many people would know what is echo, but if you look at print, everybody knows what print is. So definitely, you're right.
Yes.
Python is way better than shell scripting. But tell you what, shell scripting is heavily used in networking and telecom. Like I use a lot of shell scripting. In fact, we used to use Tickle a lot. We still use Tickle a lot. I don't even know if people have heard about it. It's TCL/TK used to be one of the automation languages and scripting languages for a long time until Python came in. So now everything is Python mostly. All right, I'm going to take one more last question. We are already way past. So who's going for the last question?
Yeah, Ankit, actually, I want to answer Nagarjuna's question.
Yeah, go ahead, please. That's what I love.
Yeah,
We all have to share.
Yeah, we can write playbooks in Visual Studio Code. We have to add YAML extension. Usually, we write a YAML in, YAML follows indentation. In Visual Studio Code, it would be easy with that YAML extension.
Yep, that's a right thing. Yeah, so basically you need to find the right extension or the right package. So like he said, I was not aware about, you're saying YAML, that is the package?
YAML, yeah.
Yeah, so you need a package for everything. Just do Google for all those things. You will get the exact package name. And there are tons of packages, man. Trust me. Like for SSH itself, So let's say you wanted to write a script in Python for opening and closing SSH. I'm not sure if everybody is following, but SSH is for if you want to get into a Linux box or something like that. So then, there are three, I think there are three or more than that, packages in Python. One is called Paramiko, one is called OpenSSL, one is called SSH Connect. I use Paramiko and SSH Connect a lot. So similarly, and both work. It's not like why do we have so many? It's just a matter of ease. Paramiko was earlier developed, but it has a lot more syntax. What was the other one? SSH Connect is very recent and it is very easy to use. So it depends on you what you want to use. And they're always, like I said initially, right? I think Ravi was the one who asked that question. JavaScript, compared to JavaScript, you have tons of support in Python, man. There's so many packages, so many. Just look for it, you'll get so many packages.
Ankit?
Yes, sir. Who is this now? Sriram. Yeah, Sriram.
Now, can you please come from beginning, like Visual Studio, to write a
Yeah,
post,
well,
because I am the
I'll take up with you alone. I don't want everybody to waste the time. So if anybody else is also facing the problem, that's the different. Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and start with your screen share.
I can't
Hold
able
on.
to get the option to scan the screen.
Yeah, I will have to make you presenter. Hold on. Sriram. Your full name is Sriram Hindu Kumar, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think you will be able to do it now. Try sharing a screen. I'm going to stop recording. We don't need this.